Hello, I'm Erin. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I am going to be going to a library book sale and a couple of bookstores. I'm on the hunt for some Alexandre Dumas books. I've been reading The Count of Monte Cristo and absolutely loving it, and I know that I want to read more of his books after I finish this one. So I'm going to go check out one of the used bookstores here, and then I think I'm going to go over to Barnes & Noble. There's a Penguin Deluxe edition, or Penguin Classics Deluxe edition of The Three Musketeers there that I really want to get, so I'm going to go see if they've got it. And then I might also pick up a couple of other classics that I'm looking forward to trying this year too. Okay, so I just got out of the library book sale and I picked up 3 books. The first is Shadows in Flight by Orson Scott Card, who's a sci-fi writer. I've read 2 of his books about writing sci-fi and fantasy, and I really enjoyed both of those. I think both of them made my 5-star reads list from 2023. And so ever since then I've been wanting to pick up a couple of his novels. So this was one that was in there today. Then I picked up The Chronicles of Pern First Fall by Anne McCaffrey. After I finished reading Fourth Wing and wanted to read more books with dragons in them, I was looking up what people recommend and seeing browsing Reddit threads and looking through Google and Goodreads and such, and Anne McCaffrey's The Dragon Riders of Pern series was one that was highly recommended. I ended up picking a volume that had the first 3 books in it at Barnes & Noble. Apparently it's a large series with more than 20 books in it. Not all of them, from what I can tell, are still in print, so I've been kind of watching for them when I go to library book sales and look at used bookstores and such, and was able to find one. And then the last one is a former library book called Fabrics for Historic Buildings by Jane Nylander, and I really love looking at older surface design patterns and just kind of being inspired by those as I work on some artwork projects and such. So anyway, those are the 3 books that I found. I'm gonna head to the used bookstore now. Okay, well, the used bookstore was closed. They were supposed to be open, but they weren't open, so I came over to Barnes instead and looked for a few of the books on my list. Several of them were not in stock, but I was able to find the No Fear Shakespeare edition of the Midsummer Night's Dream play. It's like by Spark Notes, I guess, and it has the Shakespearean text on one side and then kind of like a modern version of the text on the other side that they call like the plain English version. And I've heard that there are mixed opinions on this series. Some people really like it. Other people think it kind of really dumbs down Shakespeare. But I heard someone say the other day, I think it was Benjamin McAvoy, who has a booktube channel on which he talks about classics. He said something like, Shakespeare is over all of our heads and we're all just trying to keep up with him or catch up with him or something. And I liked that, and I'm trying to get, well, at least I like the idea of getting into Shakespeare and reading at least some, if not all of the plays over time. And so I thought I would start with A Midsummer Night's Dream. I read Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet in school, but I don't remember a whole lot about them except for that I thought Hamlet was ridiculous and that Romeo and Juliet was very much the play that's been overdone because it's been remade so many times. Anyway, so I found this one. I did find the edition of The Three Musketeers that I went in there for, but it was damaged and I don't want to pay full price for a damaged book. So I think I'm going to end up having to order that one and have it shipped, which is a shame. But there is one other bookstore I could check for that one. It's just a little farther away from me and I'm not sure I'm going to go there today. So anyway, so I did end up driving out to that other used bookstore and I found one Alexandre Dumas. It's called Chevalier de Maison Rouge. It's an older edition and I haven't heard of this one yet. I just started getting into Dumas, but I thought this one looked cool, so I grabbed that. It wasn't very expensive. Then I found this, I think it's from the 60s, 1963 edition of Gulliver's Travels. This is one of the classics I'd like to read at some point, and I like picking up ones with interesting covers and spines when I find them. And then I collect Jane Austen books, particularly Pride and Prejudice, but I do like collecting other editions of other books as well that she wrote. And I came across an Everyman's Library edition of Sense and Sensibility that just has a really pretty dark green, kind of like a linen or cloth bound cover, and it was only $6. So I ended up picking up that. It's a different day. I ended up going, I think, to every bookstore that is local to me, and I couldn't find the book I wanted. So I'm going to show you something else instead. Today I got a book I pre-ordered in the mail. It's called Have a Beautiful, Terrible Day by Kate Bowler. I've really enjoyed some of her other books. She has one called No Cure for Being Human, and the other ones are escaping me at the minute, but this one is a book of daily meditations for the ups, downs, and in-betweens, and I tend to just love everything she writes. So I'm looking forward to reading this. Then I came across a book at Barnes & Noble while I was browsing that sounded cute. It's called The Book Proposal, and I'm not sure how you pronounce this author's name. They're new to me. I've never read anything by them or heard of them, but the book sounded cute and the cover was happy, so I'm gonna give it a go. But it looks like it's about a romance writer who reconnects with somebody that she had an unrequited high school crush on, and maybe uses one of his breakups as inspiration for a story. I'm not sure. I don't want to know too much going in, but it looked cute. So those are a couple of books I could show you today at least. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.